Welcome to Physics for Life. This is a quick revision of semiconductor electronics. We will discuss materials, devices, and simple circuits. So, let's start with electronic devices. Any device whose action is based on the controlled flow of electrons through it is called an electronic device. The branch of physics that deals with the study of these electronic devices is called electronics. The electronic devices are of two types. First is vacuum tubes and second is solid state electronic devices. So let's discuss about first vacuum tubes. These include vacuum diode, triode, tetrode, etc. In a vacuum tube, electrons obtained from a heated cathode and are controlled by varying voltages between its different electrodes. So these devices are bulky, consume high power, operate generally at high voltages, have limited life and low reliability. And second is solid state electronic devices. So in such devices, the charge carriers flow through solid state semiconductors. These devices include junction diode, transistors and integrated circuits. So these are small in size, consume low power, operate at low voltages, have a long life and high reliability. Now next is classification of solids on the basis of their resistivities. So metals have low resistivity between 10 to the power minus 2 to 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter, and insulators have high resistivity which is greater than 10 to the power 8 ohm meter, and while semiconductors have intermediate values from 10 to the power 5 to 10 to the power 0 ohm meter of resistivity. Semiconductors, they have much higher resistivity than metals. Their temperature coefficient of resistivity, that is alpha, is both negative and high. They have considerably low number density of charge carriers than metals. Semiconductors may be elemental silicon, germanium, and compound like GaAs, CDS, etc. Now next is energy bands in solids. So in an isolated atom, the electrons occupy well-defined discrete energy levels, but due to interatomic interactions in crystal, the electrons of outer shells are forced to have energies different from those in isolated atoms. So each energy level splits into a number of energy levels, forming a continuous band. So an enormously and a large number of energy levels closely spaced in a very small energy range constitute an energy band. The allowed energy bands are separated by the regions in which energy level cannot exist. So these forbidden regions are called band gaps or energy gaps. The highest energy band occupied by the valence electrons is called the valence band, and the next empty allowed band is called the conduction band. Now next is Fermi level. So the highest energy level filled with electrons at absolute zero is called Fermi level, and the energy corresponding to the Fermi level is called Fermi energy. Now next is distinction between metals, insulators and semiconductors on the basis of band theory. So first, metals. In metals, either the conduction band is partially filled or valence and conduction band partially overlapped, where Eg is equals to 0. This makes availability of large number of free electrons for electric conduction. So metals have high conductivity and low resistivity. Now second is insulators. So here the conduction band is empty and the valence band is filled. So the forbidden energy gap which is larger than 3 electron volt, and electrons cannot be excited from the valence band to the conduction band even by applying a strong electric field. Therefore no electrical conduction is possible. And the emitter supplies a large number of majority charge carriers for the flow of current through transistor. The base controls the flow of majority charge carriers from emitter to cathode. The collector collects the majority charge carriers for the transistor operation. Now next is action of a transistor. So when the emitted base junction is forward biased, majority charge carriers are pushed from emitter to base. few electrons and holes recombine in the base region, most of the majority charge carriers cross over the reverse bias collector, and collector current Ig is always slightly less than the emitter current. So IE is equals to IC plus IB, where this IB is the base current. Now next is three configurations of a transistor. So first is CB, that is common base circuit, second is CE, that is common emitter, and third one is common collector, that is CC. Now common emitter characteristic of a transistor. So these are the graphs between appropriate voltages and currents for a transistor when its emitter is taken as the common terminal and grounded zero potential. The base is the input terminal and collector is the output terminal. So three types of characteristic curves are studied. First is input characteristic curve. So it is the graph showing the variation of the base current IB with base emitter voltage VBE at constant collector emitter voltage, that is VCE. So the input resistor Ri of a transistor in CE configuration is defined as the ratio of the small change in the base emitter voltage to the corresponding small change in the base current. So when the collector emitter voltage is kept fixed, so Ri is equals to in the bracket del VBE upon del IB, where VC is equals to a constant. And second is output characteristic. So it is the graph that shows the variation of a collector current IC with the collector emitter voltage VC at a constant base current IB. The output resistance R0 of a transistor in C configuration is defined as the ratio of the small change in the collector emitter voltage to the corresponding change in the collector current when the base current is kept constant. So R0 is equals to in the bracket del VCE upon del IC, where IB is equals to a constant. And third one is transfer characteristic. So it is the graph showing the variation of collector current IC with base current IB at constant collector emitter voltage. Now next is current gains of a transistor. Usually two current gains are defined. First is common base current amplification factor or AC current gain, that is alpha, which is equals to del IC upon del IE at VCB a constant. So it is the ratio of the small change in the collector current to the small change in the emitter current when the collector base voltage is kept constant. And second is common emitter current amplification factor or AC current gain, that is beta. It is the ratio of the small change in the collector current to the small change in the base current when the collector emitter voltage is kept constant. So beta is equals to del IC upon del IB, where VCE is a constant. Now next is the relationship between alpha and beta. So alpha is equals to beta upon 1 plus beta and beta is equals to alpha upon 1 minus beta. Now next is three states of a transistor. So a transistor in a circuit can be in one of the three conditions. First is cutoff state. So if the emitter base junction is not forward biased, or if the base is insufficient to start forward current across the junction while collector base junction is reverse biased, then the transistor is said to be in cutoff state. And second, if the emitter base junction is forward biased and the collector base junction is reverse biased, a collector current flows in the linear proportion with the base current, the transistor is said to be in active state. And the third one is if the emitter base junction is heavily forward based and the collector current produces such a large drop across the load resistor that the base collector junction also gets forward biased, then the transistor is said to be in saturation state. And now next is transistor as a switch. A transistor can be used as a switch if it is biased in its cutoff and saturation states only. The active state is forbidden when it is used as a switch. Next is transistor as an amplifier. So an amplifier is a circuit which is used for increasing the voltage, current, or power of alternating form. A transistor operates as an amplifier when its emitter base junction is forward biased while collector base junction is reverse biased. The transistor biased in this way is said to be in active state. Now next is common base transistor amplifier. So first is DC current gain. It is defined as the ratio of the collector current, that is IC, to the emitter current, that is IE. Second is AC current gain. So it is defined as the ratio of the small change in the collector current, that is del IC, to the small change in the change in emitter current, that is del IE. And the third is voltage gain. It is defined as the ratio of the small change in output voltage to small change in input voltage, that is AV is equals to del VCB upon del VEB is equals to del IC into RO upon del E into RI. Then AV is equals to alpha AI R upon RI, which is equals to AI into AR. Now the last is power gain. It is defined as the ratio of the output power to the input power. So this is the formula, and finally you will get AP is equals to alpha square AC into RO upon RI. Now next is common emitter transistor amplifier. So here DC current gain beta DC is equals to IC upon IB, and AC current gain BAC or AI is equals to del IC upon del IB, and voltage gain that is AV is equals to del VCE upon del VB, which is equals to BA, that is beta AI into RO upon RI. And fourth, power gain, it is defined as output power upon input power. So this is the formula, that AP is equals to del VC upon del VBE into del IC upon del IB is equals to AV into beta AC, and AP is equals to beta AC square into RO upon RI. And the last fifth is transconductance, which is represented as GM. So it is defined as the ratio of the small change in the collector current, that is del IC, to the small change in the input base emitter voltage, that is delta VBE. So its unit is per ohm or Simon. So it depends on the geometry and doping levels and based on the transistor. Now next is oscillator. An oscillator is an electronic device which produces electronic oscillations of constant frequency and amplitude. An LC circuit is the basic oscillatory circuit, but its oscillations are damped. So when a transistor is used as an amplifier with positive feedback, it acts as an oscillator. Here the oscillations are set up in the tank or LC circuit, and feedback energy is supplied in the correct phase by an inductance L, which is under here you can see the formula. So F is equals to 1 upon 2 pi under root LC. The frequency, this F is the frequency of the oscillations in the tank circuit. Now next is circuits. So first is digital circuit. So these circuits, instead of using continuous signals, make use of discrete two-level or binary signals. Such signals are called digital signals. Here only two values, 0 and 1, of the input and output voltage are permissible. And second is analog circuits. These circuits process a single current or voltage in the form of continuous time varying voltage or current. Such signals are called continuous or analog signals. Now next is logic gate. So a logic gate is a digital circuit that has one or more inputs but only one output. It follows the logical relationship between the input and output voltages. Now next is truth table. So this table shows all possible input combinations and corresponding outputs for the logic gate. Now next is Boolean expression. So it is shortened method to describe the function of a logic gate in the form of an equation or an expression. It also relates the all possible combinations of the inputs of a logic gate to the corresponding outputs. Now, positive and negative logic gates. So, if in a system the higher voltage level represents 1 and the lower voltage level represents 0, the system is called positive logic gate. And if higher voltage level represents 0 and lower voltage level represents 1, then the system is called negative logic gate. So now next is OR gate. So it is a digital circuit having two or more inputs but only one output. It gives a high output. It gives a high output if either A or B or both are high 1. Otherwise, it gives a low output 0. It describes like this is a Boolean expression for this. A plus B is equals to Y, that is output. Next is AND gate. So it is a digital circuit having two or more inputs but only one output. It gives a high output 1 if A and B are both high 1. Otherwise it gives low output 0. It is described as A dot B is equals to Y. And now next is NOT gate. So it is a digital circuit having only one input and one output. So if input is 1, then output is 0, and output is like input is 0, then output is 1. So this is a Boolean expression, A bar is equals to Y. And now next is NAND gate. So it is obtained by connecting the output of an AND gate to the input of a NOT gate. So its input is high if both A and B are not high. It described by the Boolean expression this: A dot B bar is equals to Y. Now next is NOR gate. So it is obtained by connecting the output of an OR gate to the input of a NOR gate. So its output is high if neither A nor B input is high, and it is described by this Boolean expression: A plus B whole bar is equals to Y. Now next is XOR gate or exclusive OR gate. So this is the Boolean expression you can see here. And last topic is integrated circuits. So miniature electronic circuit consisting of many passive components like R and C and active components like diode and transistor fabricated with a single semiconductor chip is called an integrated circuit. ICs are obtained by a complex procedure involving diffusion, oxidation and metallization, photolithography, etc. These circuits have revolutionized the electronic industry. Thank you for watching the video.